All right, folks. So I've been getting a lot of questions from everyone about the lead gen program that we're running for the office and have up and running. And instead of scheduling 5,000 Zoom meetings with everyone, or trying to figure out a time when everyone could get together and go over it, I'm just going to shoot a quick video for you guys and kind of run through how that works. A little background on why we are doing what we're doing and how it came about was, we've been running a lot of advertising for agents, me personally, around the country for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years now. And the big problem with, newer agents is comes down to cost, right? Everyone wants the highest quality lead at the most reasonable cost. And unfortunately, for me to do that, I normally have a minimum billing threshold of somewhere around $1,500 to $2,000 a month to run an effective ad campaign. There's kind of two sides of the spectrum when it comes to advertising, and one of those is social, and the other is search. Search is going to be your highest intent form of advertising. People that are specifically looking for something, and then social, for me, I normally use as a secondary. So after I bring that traffic via search, then I start showing them things on the social side to re-engage those users. So the problem is for most agents, if they came through and said, hey, Shane, you know what, I want to run an ad campaign, I want to run some lead gen, like, great, $2,000 a month. And unfortunately, that billing threshold is a little higher than a lot of agents want to pay. So so the only answer there was to take, $100, $200 a month and, run Facebook leads. And yeah, we could generate Facebook leads all day long for, $1 a piece, 80 cents a piece, $1.20 a piece, whatever, depending on the market. But the reality is that those leads are dollar leads. So, it's kind of this game where we're trying to get the highest quality lead at the most reasonable cost, not necessarily the cheapest lead, and not necessarily the highest of high intent where I'm paying $100 a lead, but kind of get that where the quality is there and the intent is there, and the cost is reasonable. So what we kind of did was came together and said, look, if I have 5 agents that want to spend $100 a month, well, now I got $500 a month in ad spend. I could come in and have Bond Street match that spend, and now I have $1,000 a month to play with as far as an ad campaign. So essentially, that's what we did, right? We I went out and I've had a handful of agents that have been doing this for a while, and we kind of kept it under wraps. But with everything going on and some of the other things happening in the market, we decided let's roll this back out and bring agents involved. The nice thing is that the more agents that are involved, the ad spend is directly proportionate to the number of agents. So the more people that are involved, the higher the ad spend, the more competitive we become in that space. And essentially the cost per lead goes down, and you get more leads at a lower cost when you have more agents involved. So the way that's set up is we have specific domains set up for each of the offices. Some are together. I think like East Monmouth and Spring Lake are together, but whatever. There's 4 or 5 domains that I have running, and then we're driving that traffic through those domains. So to kind of give you a visual on how that looks, I'll let me see. Should be able to share my screen here and kind of run through. But basically, the way that looks is we have a main website here. So there's a couple different main domains. This is centraljerseyhomepurchase.com. It's just an IDX search. So, consumers can come on here and they can look and they can browse and whatever. But what we're doing is we're bidding on specific keywords when people go to Google to drive that traffic through our website. So we have a couple different things here. So this looks like the Ocean Living one. So our top searches here are things like homes for sale in Brick, homes for sale. I just took Lavallette off, I think, homes for sale in Manasquan, things like that. And we're, they're at $7.38 a lead. Similarly, and this is the past 30 days, I think, $12 a lead on West Monmouth. And they're all about the same, but you'll see there we're targeting Middletown, Marlboro, Matawan, Manalapan, Colts Neck, Homedale, that sort of area. So each individual domain is running its own ad campaign, and they are all kind of hovering somewhere around that $10 a lead number. So when we talk leads, we're talking about actual registrations, people that are looking for homes on Google. They are bidding on our specific keywords, right? And then we're bidding for our ad to show up, something like this: click here for homes in Jackson. Now, when they click on that ad, they're coming to the website itself. They can browse, they can see that list of houses. But when they click and look on a house, we're going to ask for an email address. When they give us an email address, we're going to ask for a phone number. So we're saying around $10 a lead for someone that's gone through that entire process, right? The person that went to Google, typed in homes for sale or whatever in a given town, hit on one of our keywords, our ad copy shows up. It interests them enough that they click it. Then they see the list of houses itself, click on a particular house and register. So all that for $10. So the level of intent, they've literally taken, 4 or 5 steps before they've gotten to that point where they're registering. So the intent is definitely there. You do get a certain percentage of, fake emails and fake phone numbers. It's not as high as it used to be. So that's kind of good. I guess Google kind of figured out who we want. But so that's kind of the rundown of how that works, and how we're driving that traffic. Now, everything's proportioned to the number of agents involved. So the more agents that I get involved per office, then I add on auxiliary products. So basically, that's our main focus, the Google advertising and things like that. And the one thing to keep in mind that is really cool with that is that we are paying some bid premiums on things. So I am, targeting specifically higher income levels, and paying bid premiums on higher income levels. Same thing with home ownership. If Google has established that someone owns a house, I'm going to pay a little bit more for that lead, ideally trying to get the person who has something to sell in order to buy. Just trying to get you more qualified leads. Just a bunch of random numbers. We're out here around 5,000 users a month on these websites. And all that traffic falls into these retargeting buckets. So what ends up happening, as I get more and more agents involved, I branch out. So whereas we're starting with the search, now when a certain number of agents get involved in that, and I have enough ad spend, then I start branching out into other things. So one of those things is display retarget on the Google network. So this is basically anyone that's come through that website, whether they've registered or not. I know the intention was there, and we have somewhere probably around a 10 to 12% registration on that initial visit. But some people are just going to go about their day. They're going to leave when I ask for an email address and phone number. Now, when we have enough agents involved, which I'm running in Ocean Living and West Monmouth right now, is we follow them around with additional display traffic, which is branded to KW, and also to drive that traffic back to the website itself. So that, kind of just start following them around the internet sort of thing, and trying to get them either back to the website to continue searching or back to the website to register. In addition to that retargeting, there's also retargeting that, we've set up and started running on Facebook's network as well, from a more brand identity perspective, to kind of build your brand up as well as bring that traffic back. So basically it scales with the number of agents that are involved and the amount of ad spend we have, right? So, that's kind of the thing. Like, I know a lot of agents like, oh, I don't want to tell anyone because then it's like they're going to get my leads. It's not the case. The more people you get in, the higher that ad spend is. And you have to think like you're not competing against each other. You're competing against Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, these big websites that have a big ad spend, right? So if you're talking about, even I'm talking, $5,000 a month, for a handful of towns is not a huge ad spend when it comes down to the grand scheme of things, right? Because the big guys that we're going against have far larger ad spends. So, don't think of it as, you guys competing for $100 against each other. It's not the case. Everything's coming in, and then it's going that round robin out to the agents. So we do run that retargeting as well. Now, the big thing that's been getting a lot of action lately are the seller campaigns. And there's 2 types of seller campaigns that run. The ad copy is pretty similar. Something like, home values are on the rise, click here. Now, this is run as 2 separate ways. One is a lead form, which when they click, they'll let us know a little bit more about you. What's your interest? I'm thinking of selling, I'm considering refinancing, or I'm just curious. And then they're entering their name, email, phone number, street address, zip code, and all that. And that's coming into in as a lead and getting distributed out to an agent. The other one is driving traffic through the website itself, and running things this way. So Personally, I like the lead form better because I know that I get 100% of the info all the time. The sell.php page gets a lot of traffic, but you'll get a lot of addresses and maybe not as many registrations. But the reason why we keep that going is because all of those sell pages collectively build out audiences that we then grow on the back end into secondary audiences that are essentially what we use for targeting. So that's probably over the head of 90% of the people that are watching this, and really it doesn't matter to you. All you need to know is that what it does is it gets you a higher quality intent lead. I don't know how familiar you are with what Facebook's done in the past couple of years and changing your ability to target certain groups, specifically homeowners, right, for listings. Now, if I can't target homeowners, then I waste a lot of ad spend just kind of throwing out what's your home worth type stuff out there. And realistically, it's not only homeowners I want people who are actually considering selling their house, or from my end, even Banshee will pull a couple refis off of it, refinancing their house, or some people that are just curious. But that leading question kind of gives them that out. And even the people that say, oh, just send me a report, I'm not interested, usually are interested. They just don't want you to try to sell them on something. So when the leads come in, set them up on a drip campaign, reach out to them, give them a call, see what they're doing, and do what you do. Now, the thing is, like when we talk about drip campaigns and things like that, we do utilize the conversion CRM to distribute the leads. The reason why we stick with conversion is, one, their websites are really good at converting leads. So both the sell page and the individual squeeze pages for individual listings are designed to convert web traffic into leads. So that's a big reason why, for me, I use it. But on the back end, it's also for a matter of distributing the leads to the agents, right? Rather than just shooting you an email or whatever, I need a way to round robin those leads to make sure that everyone is getting an even distribution across the board of the leads that are involved. So we do utilize the conversion CRM for that. So included in the price is also the CRM itself. Conversion's a super robust CRM. They're one of the oldest players, I think, in the game of of the CRM world. They do have a new product that is a little less functional than the one that we offer, but we've been using it for years. So these domains are established. They're getting 5,000 visitors a month as it is. So you benefit from all that traffic as well, and from having the back end of your own CRM. So you get a subdomain on our website that you can use to drive leads. If you share links and things from there, and those leads come in, those will get directed straight into your CRM. They won't go in that round robin. Not to get too far in the weeds on that, but just something to keep in mind. If you were to go out and get conversion on your own, it would cost you somewhere between $300 and $500 a month just for the CRM. So that's included in the $100 that we pull together to cover the cost of that CRM. So you do have that. You have the advertising. You have everything. You can, within conversion, set up drip campaigns, run your own advertising if you're into it, whatever. And that's all cool. One additional add-on that we have through this, and this is available to the office as well. We have a separate form, but the one that's within conversion itself is a little bit more robust. And basically, on the links section here, I have a listing promoter that we've built out that will automate an ad for your listings, and the audiences that those ads go out to are audiences that are pre-constructed from traffic that's coming, that high intent Google search traffic. So instead of me just boosting a post on Facebook and saying show this to 18 to 100-year-olds within 15 miles of the listing, this is going out only to people who have already expressed interest in real estate. Just another way to try to get a little bit higher quality lead than we're traditionally getting from Facebook, and it gets exposure for that listing. So super easy form. You just accept that you share the leads with Bond Street, and then basically can be used for promoting open houses, just listed or recently reduced. You really only need the street address, city, state, beds, baths, and the MLS number and who you are. You submit that form, and a couple things are going to happen. It's going to create a couple organic posts out there on a few pages that we own and manage, as well as automate. I think it actually automates two types of ads now. One is the lead format, and then I think I have a secondary one that's just broad reach, just to kind of put that listing in front of more people, as well as the lead gen piece. There is no added fee for that. That's included in what we do, and that cost is covered. So that ad, I believe, runs for like 3 or 5 days. I forget. I'd have to look, but that's 100% automated. Ad goes up and promotes those listings for you. So that's pretty much the broad strokes of what we got going on and how that works. I'm super accessible and available if you guys have questions or want to talk about this, or want to kind of get a better idea. But I did just kind of want to give some broad strokes, just because there has been a lot of interest in people reaching out, and the kind of like I'm trying to juggle answering those questions and planning those calls out. But realistically, I figured, hey, I can just kind of bang it all out in one little video here. And hopefully, if you have any follow-up questions or whatever, feel free to give me a shout. So if you need anything, I'm around. Hope this was helpful.